This meeting is being recorded.
I think we're good here. All right, I'm with Bri and Luke Luginbill. Um, they have Nurture Yoga Studio, and I don't know. Let's just start out with why don't Luke? Why don't you share a little bit about your life, your background, where you grew up, your education, and any of that kind of stuff that you want to share with us.
Certainly, yes. I'm a teacher by trade and profession. We currently, our studio is located in Dimondale, Michigan, which is just southwest of the capital, Lansing. And I actually grew up in Dimondale, Michigan. Spent my formative years here before traveling to the west side of Michigan in Grand Rapids area. I spent 15, 18 years, something like that,
Yeah.
there, and then moved back during the pandemic. And I grew up in this little village of just over 1,000 people. And I really liked it. And my wife Bree here, she'll tell her story, but she grew up pretty close as well. And so we kind of both moved back from the west side of Michigan to where we grew up. I've taught in middle schools, high schools, colleges, public, charter, private, mostly English and literature and writing, as well as philosophy, psychology, and theology, and a few other courses like that. Teaching is my passion, mostly because I really enjoy working with others to solve solutions to their pressures or solve problems and finding solutions. So I went to Grand Valley State University for my undergrad. Actually, was an online student for my master's at Western Governors. Because for a while I worked as a director of technology at a school, and so I've got technology in my background as well as in my
Yep.
education. I find this place in Dimondale, which my parents and my siblings still lives, which is quite a nice home. And I'm really happy to build a community here. And that's a big part of why we opened Nurture Studios, right?
Yes. Yep. To help build a community. Yeah.
I'll stop there and I'll let you go.
Go with my background.
I got one really quick question.
Yeah.
How do you like online teaching or do you like in-person teaching better?
Oh,
And
yeah.
what are the
Yes.
challenges there? Because
Mhm.
I have kids and they did the online for whatever time that they had there that they had to do it. And our oldest was terrible at it.
It's
Yep.
hard. It is
Big
hard.
time struggle. I mean, like 3-7 now, in high school, but he's been in person, all his whole high school time because that passed. But he would have he would have terrible grades if he had to go online for high school.
Yeah.
I definitely think it depends on the individual. So yeah, I was mostly a brick and mortar teacher, traditional teacher. During the pandemic, obviously we all went online. I'm actually toot my own horn here, and I prepared our school and our district to go completely online before we had to, because I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
And so we hit the ground running, which was nice. But afterwards, I switched to a full-on virtual school, which teaches all the students in Michigan from all over the place, the UP, the east side, the west side, the south side, you name it. And it certainly is not for everybody. It is a public charter school, and it works really well for families who, especially if they're younger, who can support their kid while learning. It's pretty hard to be a
Yes.
kindergartner and do virtual school unless you have a family member or some type of adult around,
Caregiver
some
or
kind of
something.
caregiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the individual. I agree. Like I would have been a bad online student when I was a kid. I needed that validation and praise from my peers and my teacher. I was very, hey, look at me calling me type of person.
Yes. Yeah.
So it really depends. I find online teaching to be fantastic, but I tell our families, like, look, this is not for everybody. We have students who are, off on an island, and there's no schools on the island. So that's really nice. We have students who are Olympic athletes. We have students who are actors in Hollywood. So unusual circumstances.
Yeah.
But we also have students who their local schools are just not what they want, and they want a free public education. which is much stronger. And so I think it depends on the student. And I also think it depends on the school. And I'm biased, obviously, but the school has been virtual for a long time. And a lot of people's understanding of virtual school was during the pandemic, where the teachers were not prepared and the school was not prepared. The infrastructure wasn't there. And so I think online virtual school gets a bad reputation because of that. Whereas my school has been around since 2011. It's been fully virtual the whole time. And so it's built for that.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, we know a family in Grand Rapids that and I don't know if they followed through with it, but their daughter was going to start playing club soccer in Livonia, and they
Oh,
live in Grand Rapids. And she needed to be there 3 nights a week. And one thing that they were considering is, do we pull her out of school and put her in virtual school, so she can stay in Livonia Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, rather than driving back, because it's about 2 hours and
yes,
25
that's a
minutes on
lot.
that
A
drive
lot.
each way, right? So it was one thing they were considering doing. I don't know what they followed through with. I won't see them again until winter rolls around, when my son's playing soccer again with them. But yeah, that was an interesting thought. I was like, that does make. And we know other people that play like higher level club soccer that have moved to virtual school because they're multiple hours away from home, and it just makes more sense for them to do that rather than try to drive from wherever they're at 2 hours away, get to practice, and 2 hours back
That's a
each night of the
lot.
week. And then you're getting home at midnight and then back up at 5:30 in the morning. So they're able to kind of move their schedule a little bit with that.
That is
Yeah.
quite nice.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
does.
convenient.
Benefit. Yep.
Yep. Yep. If it works for them, that's cool. Yep.
Well,
So yeah, Bree, tell
yeah.
me, tell me your story, your background, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, definitely. So, I grew up around the Lansing area too, in a town called DeWitt. And then I really wanted to go to Grand Valley. It was actually the only school that I applied to. So I'm glad I got in. But so I went to Grand Valley, and my background is in photography and professional writing, as well as some design, and then a minor in Spanish. Also, Luke has a minor in Spanish too. So I just wanted to
I actually
not miss that.
don't.
No, I thought you
No,
did.
I was 1 credit away from the minor in
I'm
Spanish.
sorry. Okay, well, you basically do.
Close enough.
Close
Oh,
enough.
it's fine. Um, but he is very he talks in Spanish a lot better than I do. I can do like the reading and writing, but the fluent is better with him. Anyway, so yeah, so I really liked doing like different photography, like photojournalism, storytelling, stuff like that. So that was kind of my background first. But during the time I was in college, I got a job listing for working one-on-one as a community living support and respite worker for a child and family. And the child that was 8, and he had non-speaking autism. So he was very, very sweet, very smart. And it was just very eye-opening for me. And he and the family and our family became close to him too. So he actually attended our wedding, and his family did too, with one of the other workers. That was one of my colleagues. And I remember like we made a little sensory area for his table specifically. He had some of my leftover veil fabric because my mom made my veil, and because he loved looking through stuff like that. He just loved this sensation. And he's just so sweet. So I became very passionate about that before I even thought about anything in the way future. So we met through a Christian youth group at our university. So that's how we met.
Although the first time we
So-
spent time together
Yeah.
I was your model for photography.
Oh, that's right. Someone
Yeah.
recommended that you were gonna model for my photo because I had to do like a film camera thing, 4x5.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I just need a person. And so
No, it's
so-
because I'm so good looking.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. I know.
Yeah. So it was fun. But yeah, and then let's see here, kind of fast forward. We got married 2 weeks after graduation. So that was 2011. And then we were renting our first house there. So we were in GR area for quite a bit, had some jobs there, had like a beginning copywriting design job and then you started at a charter school first there. And then things led to other things where he went to a private school after that. And then I actually decided to pursue some entrepreneurship. So I
One
was
of the crazy ones.
yes,
Yes.
yep. So I would do actually, I would still do the one-on-one working with the kids and even became a bus aide too, like for the special education buses, which was so much fun. And then I would intern and then get paid jobs here and there at it was the People Picture Company, and now it's Bird Studio. It's still there. It's on Division Street, 62 South Division.
Yep.
So they're still there, and we're very close friends with my former partners from there. So let's see here. So when we decided to move, it was after I had Soren, our son, and that was let's see here though. So we didn't move back until about 2020.
Mhm.
So after having Soren, I was just like, whoa, I had no clue. Like I had booked like 20 weddings, like once I was back from maternity leave within 6 months. And that was a really poor idea. So I definitely, because I
Yep.
used to do wedding photography. So I definitely had to humble myself and kind of be like, oh, I'm going to have to disperse some of these weddings to some of my contractors and do client relations, all that kind of stuff, because I was helping manage the studio as well. So yeah, but through that, then it was like, okay, I started to have some flare-ups with my rare disease, Beckwith-Wiedemann syndrome, um, because it was just a lot on the body. My joints move, I'm like hypermobile, they move more easily and everything like that. So I realized I can't do wedding photography anymore at this time. Like my body's just not able to do this. So I went through some physical therapy and things like that. Kind of just trained the next partner to kind of take on for the next year. And then, yeah, fast forward, got a little bit of work at the office of the sheriff at Kent County for a little bit there. But then during when COVID happened, we were struggling to find like childcare options for our son.
And why is that?
Because we were kind of realizing as he was developing that he was having some developmental delays and just some sensory sensitivities. So we realized that he might have autism. So through all that, like even one of the daycare providers that was a friend of ours, when he was there and he was only about 1, she's like, Bri, I think he might have autism. And I was like, no, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
I
I was
don't
like, no
think
way,
so.
no way.
Yeah, but then it was just yeah, just so a sweet Soren. He is a sweet boy, but he just was having different kinds of things. And so we realized, okay, we need to find help, and so family is in Dimondale. And so we moved back here and got the actual diagnosis of autism, non-speaking. And then we just did our best to research. Luke researched a bunch. Soren went to MSU Eli for a whole year,
Which is an ABA program.
which is an ABA
run through
program.
Michigan State University.
Yep, and where they host like a class, like their ABA within an elementary school, so they can be also integrated with the other preschoolers. So that was amazing. That's where he learned the PEC system, and potty training. And then he went to kindergarten here at Dimondale Elementary. And it's, like a journey with a child in general is just when you become a parent, ready, right? You are doing it at the same time as your child is being born and becoming a child.
You're
So
learning how to be a parent on the job.
yeah, so we're all
You don't
yes,
know about that, right?
yes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's a,
We've got two. We knew nothing, and we still don't know everything.
right.
That's for sure.
We're all just trying to learn together and adapt, and it's just, yeah. And so we have really enjoyed Holt Public Schools for their special education program. There's an ASC classroom at Dimondale, and then they also integrate with Gen Ed. So we've seen him really blossom, and he uses a tablet with the ProLoQ to go on there. I know there's other things like LAMP, etc., but that has been just helping him also with verbal. He's saying more stuff that way as well. So he has so much communication from nonverbal to verbal to using the augmentative alternative device. Like, it's really cool to see. So yes.
To summarize,
Yeah. Thank you.
no, I mean,
Like,
not to cut you off or anything.
no, I'm like, okay,
But
I need some help here.
to-
Sorry. I get hyper focused.
That's good.
Thank you. Oh,
We're really blessed, and anyone who's watching this, I would highly recommend this. You doing your working with special needs population jobs in the past,
thanks.
has really helped us out as a family.
Yeah.
Yes, I teach, but I don't teach special education. So you had such a strong background and heart for this, that having a child with special needs, we were able to be much, I won't say better parents, I'll say better prepared parents.
Yeah. Proactive.
Proactive,
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah. So our passion is very much there for teaching any kind of, I was teaching, living skills and such like that, and some educational with like speech and communication, and then you teach all different grades and levels too. So our teaching passion really fueled us in our sense of wanting to find community for ourselves within our local community and other communities of special needs families. So there was a building in downtown Dimondale that went up for rent. And so I checked it out and I loved it. It's beautiful. It's got brick on the outside, and then on the it's the original wood floors.
From
And
1890.
yeah. And so I thought, with my photo background, I could use this space, but also during the pandemic, after PT, kind of circling back, they recommended I do some yoga too at home. So I first started doing my own yoga practice, and then I wanted to become a teacher to help others that might have like rare disease or, chronic ailments as well. So then we decided to try it out. And so we opened up the studio for a creative and yoga studio called Nurture Studios in downtown Dimondale, July 10th, 2023. I had to look at my note for that to make sure. And it began also as a sensory friendly space too. So we wanted people to know that be like, just be you. You can come as you are that day. Sometimes we're in a good mood. Sometimes it's not a good day, and that's okay. You can be you as you come and walk into the studio. But then it's also sensory friendly for all ages, and all levels of yoga as well, and neurodiversity. So, we have had specific classes that are family yoga classes that are specifically sensory friendly, but any kind of children's yoga class that I have is always sensory friendly, because my son and Luke will come sometimes to attend when it works out for schedules, and we model that. So it's been a really great space for us because it kind of helped our son see another space outside of our home and school that is, really open and fun and everything. So that's been a really awesome time. And then we love how it's a smaller community just within the downtown, because then it's not as like sensory overwhelming as well. So yeah.
Are most of the people that come to the studio from the Dimondale area, or are you guys finding people coming from all over the greater Lansing area?
We'll find people coming from all different areas, which we are really excited about. So Grand Ledge, we have people come in.
It's about a 15-minute drive or so, north, southeast, west.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlotte,
Mhm.
South Lansing area. I've even had people from East Lansing and Okemos come as well.
Mhm.
It's just a really different type of take on a space. And then nurture is very like naturey as well with our logo. So we actually have real plants inside. We try to make it really comforting with like dimmer lights. We have fidgets on hand. And then there's different areas in the room where you can relax. Like we have a wicker chair, like egg swing.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you can do that. We also have a couch and then some tables and chairs too, because sometimes like we don't always want to sit on our mat, right? We want to walk around, or we want to, we need a little bit of a break, and that's okay. There's those areas for that. So yeah.
As far as instructors, is it you and then you have more instructors, or
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I'm the lead instructor, and I will manage all the scheduling and stuff. But we have other instructors here as well. They're all contractors, so they can kind of make their own
Yep.
schedule and such. So I think we've got about 5 to 6 now.
And hopefully I will start in January.
Yes, you're going to be a fitness instructor.
Yes.
So we do offer Pilates now. I offer Pilates, and I did do one HIIT class. So we're hoping Luke will do some HIIT classes
As
and
well.
maybe some other,
Mhm.
who knows what will lead to. So
what does it look like? Is it like, so obviously I can't teach yoga, but let's say I wanted to. What did you have to do to become
oh,
a
right.
yoga instructor? Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. You go through certification process. So I went through a 200-hour yoga certification. All mine was during the pandemic, and then with just the way my lifestyle is, I need to have virtual. So I went through that. And then before I went through the 200 level training, I did yin yoga certification only because that's all I could do at that time.
It's very long movements.
Yeah, you
more
hold them
peaceful.
for longer amounts of time, you're on the ground the whole time, things like that. But the 200-hour ones, I was feeling like, okay, I think I can do some more like vinyasa flows, which are a little bit faster, you're up on your feet more. I went through that training. And then this past year, I just went through the 300-hour. So now I'm technically a 500-hour yoga teacher trainer. And the hours are a mix of lectures to listen to, a mix of assignments, tests throughout, a final exam at the end. The 200-hour level, you've got to video yourself, or if you're in person, you do an in-person class and teach it, and create your own sequences and stuff. And then for the 500-hour, you have to record yourself doing, I think it was like 20 hours of everything. So, so yes. And I am getting better with video and like recordings, but sometimes you can say like, oh, I meant left. Sorry. Move your left foot, and so that's where it's like, oh, darn it, now it's recorded. But in a way that makes it more human. Like
Yeah.
you never want to like feel like you're going to a class and you can't make like a little bit of a,
Our
mistake.
studio is very human.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
just nice. But yeah.
What about, So the different types of classes that you guys offer. So you said there's a wide variety. Can you maybe dive into a little bit more specific on that?
100%, yeah. So we offer anything from restorative chair all the way up to even like yoga sculpt, which you would use some light weights. So we kind of go the whole spectrum. I will say, and I'll describe kind of how each of them are like, that no matter what class it is, each teacher is going to also give examples of how to better support yourself safely. So maybe using a prop, or maybe you don't do that pose because it doesn't feel good for you today, or it doesn't resonate with you at all, and that's okay. So we are a lot about body agency, remembering that teachers were there for our students and we're there to guide, but we got to make sure to adapt and hold that space so they feel that they can have body agency and say, no, like it's okay to say that you're not going to do that right now. So the restorative yoga, yin yoga, is where you hold the poses for longer periods of time, anywhere from like a minute all the way to even like 5 minutes or more.
Which is really hard for me. That's tough.
Yeah, and
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
it feel good to hold it for 5. So what I usually tell people when they're first starting out too is like, it's okay to make micro movements. It's okay to, if you need to like adjust or raise your hand so an instructor can come and like help with any kind of props or what, anything like that. And then let's see here. The next one I would say is Vin Yin. So that's a combination of vinyasa and yin yoga. So 30 minutes of more of your on your feet, maybe doing more of the warrior type flows, etc. And forward folds, things like that. And then a half an hour for just the restorative. Then you have like different levels of vinyasa yoga, anywhere from beginner all the way to advanced. And I will say, like, any of our intermediate classes, we do kind of teach it beginner and intermediate together, so people can feel like safe and supported there. I like to show people just really how to move in different ways, first micro movements to get there. A lot of our instructors do that same exact thing, because then it helps you understand like, oh, if I just move a little this way, this is what happens. And I feel like my back's more supported, or things like that. So we really try to help on building mobility, balance, core, and just also relieving tension, joint pain, anything like that. So
Cool. Yeah. How about, what do you guys like to do when you're not working?
oh,
Because you're probably always working, but
yes.
what do you guys like to do when you're not working?
Let's see.
We spend a lot of time outside. We're fortunate to have a lot of property here. When we bought this place, the house was kind of in disrepair, so it was kind of one of those really
Yeah, it's an old
bunch of
farmhouse.
acres, and yeah. So our son, who's autistic, as mentioned before, one of his favorite activities is jumping on a trampoline. We spend a lot of time outside by the trampoline or in our barn with our chickens and our dog. You and I, when we get a chance to, we like to sit in the hot tub,
Yes.
sometimes with a glass of wine,
And which is really nice
relax at the end of the day.
and good for my joints. That was one thing, like I needed to have something like that for all the different joint pain and stuff that I can go through. So I'm like, we got to do it.
I really enjoy reading, English
Yeah.
teacher, and debating and reading about philosophy. And you want to talk about your passions? You have so many
I know,
passions.
it's a lot. Yeah.
Drawing.
I do, yes. It depends on the day on what I want to do to just like relax or just have fun with. Sometimes it's just drawing on my iPad. That's easier for me because I can get kind of shaky if it's paper. And then just going on walks, maybe doing my own yoga flow where I'm not like thinking about how I'm moving. I'm just moving, which is really fun outside, just for my own personal time. Yes, I do love jumping on the trampoline with our son because you know what? It's actually jumping on trampolines are really fun for adults too. It can always actually put you in a better mood after you do a few jumps. We have some aerial swings out here too. So those are one is like a big silk that you put up and secure, and then you can either do yoga in that, or you can just like relax in it as well. My son loves it, and it's kind of nice as well. Other fun things, chickens, raising the chickens.
Soon to be ducks, maybe too. You got some ducks,
We got some
duck eggs.
duck eggs from my
Mhm,
cousin, and we
mhm.
have an incubator. So I just have to give him a quick call and then get it going. Plants, I started trying to do more plant stuff. Used to have a brown thumb, yeah, and now I have a green thumb, which is good. So we try to make sure to have fun with a lot of different things. So
And that's really important. I'm sure the audience understands.
yeah,
Being a caregiver is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And so you need your time however you can get it.
yes, yep. And you can
Yes.
make it a shared thing too with your family as
Mhm.
well, or you can make it an individual thing, even, and it doesn't have to, doing something fun for yourself, you could make it so it's only like 2 minutes that day, so you know that you'll get it into your schedule,
Mhm.
and then it becomes easier to make it a habit of just being like, oh, I should go do something just for me right now. So yeah.
Well, cool. Anything that we didn't cover that you guys would like to cover?
Let's see. Sure. We have two family sensory friendly yoga events coming up that are specific just for that, and they're free admission. So the next one is actually this month on Sunday, October 20th from 2 to 3 p.m. All ages, so like adult children, that's totally fine. Like all ages welcome, all levels. And then the other one's going to be Sunday, December 8th from 2 to 3 p.m. And then in Nurture Studios is 257 South Bridge Street, Dimondale, Michigan, 48821. So those are some events, and they were sponsored by Mid-Michigan Autism Association, so they can have the tickets be free.
Yeah, that's sweet. I bet when I connect with Kathy again, she'll have those in, we always
Oh,
have we have a
Yes.
sensory friendly, event page,
she's
and
got them down. Yep,
yeah,
she
I'm
will.
sure she'll have those added to it. She's always on top of it. She's like, "No, don't do anything yet. I got some new ones to put in there." So,
Yes, yes, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We're also a few weeks away from
That's right.
purchasing the building,
Yeah,
which is
that's
a
awesome.
wonderful thing. So
Congrats.
yeah, so I'm sure we'll throw a big party for that and
Yes.
invite the community in.
Which will be awesome. Yeah, and because we really want to make a like permanent sensory friendly space. I
Mhm.
think that is just a really um needed thing. And yeah, so we're really excited about everything. It's been like a hard work to get there, but we've had good support as well. And we're very grateful for all of our current members, anyone that stops into the studio saying hi. And actually right now on our studio stoop, I just put pumpkin tic-tac-toe.
I'm sorry, that's
So
awesome.
they're little
Cool.
tiny pumpkins, and I just drew with like chalk tic-tac-toe on our thing, so people can play tic-tac-toe anytime during
Cute.
the day while it's October. So we're always thinking of how can we get just more, just add more fun stuff to things. So
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on here with me, and I've enjoyed it, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you. We really appreciate your time
Yeah, thank
and
you.
all that you are doing for spreading awareness, advocacy, acceptance. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks. All right, I'm